Good day, good morning. This is Matthew M. Holt with Matha, reading in the book of Matthew, and I'm only in the first two chapters. This is why we continue to read the Bible, because you're not going to understand it the first time. There's going to be something new that you catch on to the second, the third, fourth time that you read. Whatever it is that you may read that you've read already once, you're going to catch on to something else different. So I'm in the book of Matthew. First thing is there's 14 generations from Abraham to David, 14 generations from David to Babylon, 14 generations from Babylon to Christ. It's quite interesting. If you go look it up, an average generation is about 30 years. So it says. So history says. Theologians. You do the math. 30 times 14 is 420, which is quite odd. Especially when you add 14, 14, and 14 all together, it equals to 42. Anyways, this is what I've learned in the book of Matthew in just these first couple chapters. First off, the wise men were astrologers. That means that they were Gentiles. They could have been pagan, practicing some kind of pagan ritual, right, for the king, for King Herod. So they saw this particular star, and they had this vision or this intuition that this was something special, right? And all the religious leaders at the times, the scribes, the priests, they had known. The religious leaders knew that Jesus Christ was the Messiah. They knew that he was coming, and they knew that more likely this was going to be it, and they're going to have to keep everything on hush-hush because they want to get the people excited, right? Because what if it's not? What if it's not? I'm going to find out it was, right? So this has led me to think, okay, King Herod is obviously jealous of baby Jesus. He's scared. He's afraid. He's intimidated. King Herod, this big old king, this king of Rome, is afraid, intimidated by a child, by baby Jesus. You just think about that. The wise men, the astrologers, were the first to be converted to Christianity, basically, right? They were forewarned by God in a dream to not go back to Herod, so they escaped, or they left to their country in a different route. The wise men were the first to give gifts to Christ. They were the first to worship. They were the first to be converted by their own works, too, because they were astrologers, so they seen these stars, right? They're always looking at stars. Oh, hey. Come to find out, it's the Son of God. So we go on into the book here, and King Herod, he goes and says, you know what, I'm pissed. Goes and kills all the children that are 2 and under. Well, lo and behold, because he doesn't know how God works, God tells Joseph in a dream, arise, take Joseph, take the baby, and go to Egypt. I'll tell you when to go back. But this has had me thinking, right? When Jesus was born, they knew that he was the Messiah. They were reading about it in the prophets and the minor prophets and the major prophets, the priests. They knew about this. And then we look at the Pharisees, right? And the Sadducees, and we knew that the people were probably asking questions, right? And so instead of telling them the truth or trying to figure out, in a way that's could be a little bit, they're probably fearing that there was going to be like this stampede because, oh my gosh, it's the Messiah. We got to go see the Messiah. So they're trying to quiet everybody, keep it all on the hush-hush, keep it on the low. And then people people asking questions. So they were telling white lies, and the white lies turned into big lies. Big lies turned into confusion, turned into division, which is why Jesus says, a house divided against itself cannot stand, because there were already different sects of Judean religion at that time of Jesus Christ's arrival and birth. So you can just imagine the first 28, 30 years of his life, basically, which is, there you go, 30 again. First 30 years of his life, it was basically everything was on the hush hush. Everything was on the down low. No one asked about Jesus. It got to a point where they just stopped asking about Christ because they were constantly told, don't ask about Christ. Or there was people asking about Jesus, inquiring, and then they were, imprisoned. Maybe they were sent off, or they were put into exile. Who knows what it could have been? Some kind of form of propaganda or coercion, fear tactics that were employed at the time to keep people from asking questions. So they just stopped asking questions until Jesus started doing his ministry. He started preaching. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, wait, hey, that Jesus guy, oh, wait. And this is what was happening at the time. People were like, hey, wait, that's that Jesus guy that we were told not to talk about, not to ask about. He's over here preaching. Oh, he got baptized by that one crazy guy, John the Baptist. Maybe we should go listen to him. Yeah, we should go listen to him and find out that everything that they were told was a lie. And what's happening right now, we're finding out everything that we were told in our life was a lie. And this is how it's always been. Every single generation, I'm pretty sure, have found out that they were lied to at some point, right? All the way back to Jesus' time, we were lied to by an elite class of ruling people who believed that they had power over other people. That's the same thing the Pharisees did. That's the same thing the Sadducees did. But the funny thing is that they actually were opponents against each other. At the same time, they were friends and opponents against everybody else that was around them that were not of their religious sect, like the Zealots. They didn't like the Zealots. They didn't like then the other one was Essenes. So there was different sects of religion. But the Bible was funny. They focus on the Pharisees and the Sadducees, right? And we look at it in modern day culture, and I think that the Sadducees are more Republican and the Pharisees are more Democrat. At least that's their front. Like, I'm not a Republican, I'm actually a Sadducee. No, I'm not a Sadducee, I'm actually a Republican. No, I'm not a Democrat, I'm actually a Pharisee. It just changed names. All we do here is just change names, change titles, change labels, but it's the same kind of actions, the same type of behavior, and we need to catch on to it because there is elite people that are they are ruling over us simply because we are not aware of it. We have to become aware of it, acknowledge it, and then we have to take the necessary steps to take the power back. But we won't be able to do it without the help of God, without the help of Jesus Christ, because he's going to be the one that gives us power. He's going to be the one that treads on our enemies, because our enemies are his enemies. Let's remember that. Bless those who persecute you. The Pharisees and Sadducees, they say that they just disappeared in the history, that the Sadducees disappeared after the second temple was destroyed. They disappeared. They're still here. And that's what I'm doing my research on right now. The difference between the Pharisees and the Sadducees and how they have woven themselves into our modern day 21st century culture and who those people actually are. Presidents, kings, queens, leaders, people behind the scenes, the technocrats. What are they? Are they Pharisee? Are they Sadducee? Donald Trump, Emmanuel Macron, Klaus Schwab, George Soros, Tedros Ghebreyesus. What category do they fit in? Yes, we do have all a title. We have a label. All right. So who are they? That's my take on today. I'm not even into finishing all of the second chapter yet, right? Then we go into chapter 3. This is what I picked up. Appreciate y'all. Give me your thoughts. Give me your opinions. Give me your comments. I'm curious what you think about this, what you thought, what your take is. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Go ahead and get some Mafia merch. www.makingamericafitagain.com and start your 6-month transformation program right now for free. www.makingamericafitagain.com. Appreciate the support. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Until next time, this has been Matthew M. Holt, and it's been a great time talking with you guys. Peace out.